Hello there, how is it going? Today I will teach you how you can make computer games. To follow this tutorial, you don't need any experience of any kind. We'll be taking it all step by step from the bottom to the top. Alright? So let's get started. At first I will teach you how you can make a maze game. And I think we can be done with that in this tutorial. So in 10 minutes you will know how you can make a maze game in a program you don't even know. That sounds amazing, right? So let's speed up. And you might wonder, what are all these things? And it could be a bit overwhelming in the beginning because there are so many things. But don't worry, we'll quickly cover them, and you will know what is what and what things can be used for. Also, we won't be using everything in this tutorial, but we'll be taking it step by step. I won't be giving you the big overview now. I'll just explain the things that we are going to use. If you watch the whole series, then you'll get to know about most things in GameMaker. So let's start off by creating a new sprite. You can do that by clicking this Pac-Man icon here, or you can right click here and select create sprite. So what the hell is a sprite, you might wonder? And a sprite is basically a piece of graphic that is used in your game. You know, a wall or a ball or a Pac-Man or a ghost or whatever. It's the graphic, it's the visuals that are in the sprites. So let's make a visual called sprite player. And in this case I just want the player to be a box. If you already have found a box or drawn a box in another piece of software, then you can click here and then you'll be able to browse for that file. But I will just draw a quick box here. You can click edit sprite, and then GameMaker actually has a built-in sprite editor. It's very good for pixel art, I think. So just click this one, so insert a new image, double click it to open it, and then it's just like the old Microsoft Paint. I'll just draw a quick square here. There we go. Yes, so now we have the player. Now let's make some walls here. Instead of drawing the whole player again, I'll just duplicate it. You can do that by right clicking and say click duplicate. So say sprite wall. I just want the wall to be a bit more gray, so I'll go ahead and do that like that. Alright, so now we have a player and a wall. To make these sprites actually do something, we need to create what is called an object, because now they are just images, but we want to add some code and some function to them so they can actually do things. That's where the magic comes in. So an object can be created by this blue ball here, yellow, what am I saying? Blue ball. Or I can right click as you could with the sprite and select create object. We'll first create the player object. So we say object player. And to tell the object what sprite it has, you see here, there's a sprite section here, and then you can click here and select the player sprite. So now the object knows which sprite to pick. For now, just hit OK. And to run the game, you can click this green arrow here. So I do that and says error. A game must have at least one room to run. So we create a room, and a room is this one here. And this is where your game goes on. This is where you place your objects. And if you want to place an object, for example the player, you go to the Objects tab. And you can select the object here. For now we only have the player object. And then you can put in a player and run the game. So you see, you'll get a window up where we see the player here. The player can't do anything yet, but let's make him able to move. Go back to the player by double clicking it, and this one will open up again. So we'll make him move for all directions. So we need to add an event here. An event is something that triggers when something is done, something that occurs when something makes it do so. For example, when I click the mouse, or when I press up, or when I do whatever, then it needs to do a set of actions. And that's what we want to do here. So to make the player move, we want to make him move with the arrow keys. And you think, what do we pick when we have to move with the arrow keys? And we do this key press here when the left key is pressed, when we want to move left. And you see, here is all the actions that are going to happen when we press the left button. And you have all these icons here that all does funny things. So we can go to the move thing here. There's this one. You can just drag it or right click it if that's how you prefer. And then this window pops up here. This is the configuration of the action. And this is the direction of the movement. We want the player to move left with the speed of 4. So when we run the game and press left, then the player actually moves left. Okay? So as you could duplicate sprites here, you can also duplicate events. So we just right click, select duplicate event, and do the same with the right key. Instead of moving left, we just move right, and as you see, our player will be able to move left and right. Left and right. And we also need to make it able to move up and down. So we just duplicate it, keyboard up, select the key to up, and duplicate it again, and set it down. So now we can move in all directions. Yes, that's beautiful. So now to the actual maze. Because now we have a player that can move, but no game without the challenge. So we create a new object called object wall, link the sprite, and because the wall stands still and isn't going to be used, we just check this solid button here. That means that it stands still and it's not going to be to let any objects pass through it. So we go back to the player here and say add event, because when the player touches the wall, we want him to stop moving. So we say collision object wall, then we want him to stop moving, and we do that by setting the speed to 0 and clicking the button in the middle here. That's stop moving. So let's add some walls here. Let's just do a series of walls like that. And when the player goes into the walls, he should stop. And he does. That's great. Alright, so now we can build a maze the way you want it. Yeah, that's a very hard maze, I know, right? Yeah, you can probably figure out something more creative than this. So we've made our first level for our maze game here. The player needs to go up here, and then there should be a goal, and when the player reaches the goal, it should go to the next level. So we will just create a new sprite here called sprite goal, and I'll just do this quickly. You can do whatever you want with this, of course, like that. I'll create a new object and link the goal sprite to it. There we go. And then I place the goal here. You can also toggle the grid if you want, so that the player can see that he needs to move over there. Okay, so we've got the player working. Now we just need to tell the player that we want it to go to the next room when it touches the goal. So we say collision object goal. There is one in main 1 here called rooms. These are all the actions that you can do with rooms. For example, restart the current room, go to a specific room, or go to the next room. And that's the one we want to use. So if you run the game, and go to the goal, we will get an error because moving to the next room after the last room can't be done because there is no next room. So we'll go ahead and create a new room. Place the player and a maze. Very hard maze, right? There we go. Yes. Let's test it and see what happens. And then it moves to the next level, and we are already going to the next level here. Alright, so you can make as many levels as you want. Play a bit around with this till I see you the next time. I hope this tutorial did not get too rushy. If you have any questions, just ask away in the comments. I will be answering all of you until I get too many subscribers. But I don't think I will do that in the near future. Alright, see you later.